Hey, my name's Jack, and this is my iShot Leaguestart build guide. Before I begin, I want to say that the build and videos I make are not for new players. If you are new to PathofExile, if you are new to this game, I recommend checking out Zizarin's guide, link in the description below. For this patch, changes to iShot and buffs to ranger and ball builds in general, iShot has become a viable starter for the Crucible League. A good amount of clear and defensive mechanisms such as knockback, chill, freeze, easy to access special person on the ranger side of the tree. The variant that I'm going to show you is using the unique Gluttonous Tidebow from the Infinite Hunger. It fires additional arrows equal to your maximum frenzy charges on reaching maximum frenzy charges, together with Raider's frenzy charge bonuses and generation bonuses. This build will be quite fast, resulting in many additional arrows. I am not going to say much on leveling since I hate leveling, but here are some pointers. Ice Shot is available from Hillock. Faster attacks with the new patch is coming from Brutus, and Sniper Mark will be available after Mudflat. Your Ascendancy priorities is Way of the Poacher, Rapid Assault, then you go for Abbot of the Slaughter, and then finally Abbot of the Chase. This will result in maximum possible movement speed during the campaign. Here's the leveling tree. It's pretty simple and straightforward. You go for the life nodes early, take these two for X damage, and you go over here. You take this and you go for this as fast as possible, so you can do double dipping with physical flat and hold flat on items, as well as chill and freeze pretty much all the enemies for smooth leveling. I have also put a leveling gem tab. Pretty simple. You go for less than multiple projectiles, plus Mirage Archer for clear, then Barrage for the bosses. Sniper Mark is really early, Herald of Ice in Act 2, and that's pretty much it. And after that, you just can follow this. This is the final tree. Basically, we'll be stacking as much crit as possible, so we can reach 100% crit chance for the bow, so we can cycle through our frenzy charges as fast as possible. Together with the node from Way of the Poacher, we have 60% chance to gain a frenzy charge on hit. This results in us cycling through our frenzy charges quite quickly with the unique, resulting in additional arrows for Ice Shot and Barrage. We also we have spell suppression coming from these four nodes and over here. Early on, you should, instead of taking this evasion mastery that gives you 50% extra, which is actually very good, you should take the cannot be stunned if you haven't been hit recently. And then later, when you have an item enchantment on your boost that gives you 80% chance to avoid being stunned if you've killed recently, plus this one, Heart of the Oak, you have 100%. You can just change back to this one to get 100% spell suppression with these nodes over here, plus the spell suppression which you're gonna get on your items. You can actually leave the sling boots out. I put chaos on it because this build is lacking in chaos resistance a bit. Look out for that. Oh yeah, and early on, you should probably take the chance to suppress spell damage as lucky. This will help a lot out in the very early levels when you don't have gear with spell suppression. Very good mastery node. So let me show you the gear. So first off, obviously, the bow that enables this build. The most important stat on this build is the frenzy charge for each enemy you hit with a critical strike. This is very important that you have the highest row possible on that specific stat. Otherwise, you're gonna lose out on a lot of DPS. So I'm guessing so 35 to 40% is like acceptable. Everything below that I would rather not take. Since many people kill Infinite Hunger pretty much the entire time to get to Ether, this is a cheap bow. It's always been cheap. I've seen it a lot of times. It's be cheap. A lot of people put it on the market. It's gonna be abundantly there. Just look out for the 35 to 40%. It can actually roll from 20 to 40% on that specific stat. We have the Quiver. It's important that you roll the crit chance and the bow attacks fight an additional arrow. The rest is just bonus damage. This is just for stats and spell suppression. Then the chest is important, and it's very important. It's a hunter chest and not an elder chest. These Same modifiers can roll on an Elder chest, but on an Elder chest, you actually won't have the option to roll this. You can apply additional curse. So this is important when you want to maximize like the potential of your gear. You can get an additional curse here, and then you replace this ring with a diamond ring when you have more resistance from better rolls on your other items. And you get a diamond ring, or you can also take the elemental damage ring, this one, good amount of damage as well. Or maybe if you want some more health, a million ring. And you get a Redeemer Frostbite on hit curse, and that pretty much gives you a lot more DPS. And then, oh yeah, we're also going to be using the Pandemonious. Very good item for this build. It chills on hit, this is important for Ice Bite on Barrage. It also blinds chilled enemies on hit, so it instantly chills, then instantly blinds, which increases your evade chance 91%, pretty good. It also gives you 20% Cold Pen against chilled enemies. Very good damage increase and utility with its blind. Oh yeah, also important, cold exposure on hit, Eat Off Worlds implicit. I recommend getting this as early as possible. The other stuff is just resistance and some flat cold. Then a leather belt with Elder Influence for the Exile. Oh yeah, one more important thing. There's the reason why this is an evasion energy shield base. And that is because if you have any energy shield, you actually get a 50% chance to avoid being stunned just if you are hit while having an energy shield. Let's say you get hit while you have this energy shield, it's gonna be this 50% from the energy shield plus the chance to avoid being stunned from these 3 nodes. So early on, that's very good. Later on, we will get this Eternal Up enchantment to fix that problem. And then you're just basically stun immune. Crucible. So you can also put unique items in the Crucible. Sadly, they haven't released any kind of list that shows what Crucible passives there are. They've shown some things, but it's only like a reveal. So I can't really say which is gonna be like really like what is gonna be really good. I'd rather like theory craft with what I have and just move off of that, and then what comes from Crucible is basically just extra. So farming these bows is probably a very good move when you play this build. So just these bows are super common, and Infinite Hunger just drops them all the time from my experience. So definitely keep all of them. Put them in a tab for Crucible. So next up, your damage is going to obviously fluctuate a little bit because you won't always have this, since we are cycling through the charges, right? But even without this, your damage is like still up like around 1 million, and this is Shaper DPS, obviously. Like, right, without this, like the damage would be a lot better. But you know, we cycle through charges so fast that with 60% chance and then like 100% crit chance basically with Barrage, we will pretty much always just get the charges so fast that by the next cycle of Barrage, we will just have the additional arrows. Next up, I pretty much theory crafted the maximum amount of damage this build can possibly do. With extra jewel slots, here remove with this mana mastery and replace it with an enlighten level 4, we can get a lot more damage out of this build. Pretty common for bow builds. Just the ceiling is very high. You get additional arrow corruption on the bow. Maybe we get a Crucible with an additional arrow, which would be pretty good. Additional arrow corruption on the quiver. Then the best enchantment for the helmet is the Barrage, 5 additional projector, obviously. Then, as I said before, you get the additional curse, and you get the chance to get a frenzy charge on hit. On the Gap, so we have 70% chance on hit to get a frenzy charge now. Then nothing pretty new here. Some higher, some high resistances, so we can get some more chaos resistance in the build. 2-tone boots, extra resistance, Tailwind, Hunter, unaffected by poison, Pandemonious. Either of these 2 corruptions are pretty good, although honestly you can leave the corruption. Some people don't want to go and take the risk. The best anoint by far is Vengeance Cascade. This node is literally double damage, okay? So right now, let's say we don't have fast shot right now, but I'm gonna explain that later. Right now, 13 million DPS and our projectiles all return, and this is just straight up double DPS then. So this is by far the best anoint. No reason to go for anything else. Here, the Frostbite Ring and some extra damage nodes here, and the leather belt. You can remove some of the resistance, move it on other pieces, and get some extra damage node here from the Elder influence. Then you just replace the Amethyst, since we have enough chaos resistance now, and get a Dying Sun for the extra projectiles, and a Vessel of Winter for shock. Good amount of damage increase. And the most important thing in the end game, obviously going for these 3 items, Watcher's Eye, just go for straight hatred. Everything else is not worth it. Just the damage increase from this Watcher's Eye is like crazy. Like 3 million extra DPS just from this single Watcher's Eye. And Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flash, I would say the best node is Fast Shot because of its 60% more damage on maximum range, which is 70 units. If you want to look into it, there's a graph I've put in the notes right here from the official PoE wiki, which explains it a bit more. But you can also go for other ones. I think Endless Munitions is pretty good. I also think Gathering Winds is pretty good. From the Path one, I'm really not certain. I think most of the things are like poison or flash themed. I'd say that the data nodes are way, way better. You can also go for Focal Point. Very good increased effect of your marks. Yeah, so it's a perfect gear, I'd say. Your gear's obviously not going to look like this. It's going to be different. You're going to have some extra things. You're going to be missing some things, you know. But I'd say that the maximum DPS this build can possibly reach is, say, 20 million plus the Vengeance Cascade. I'd say 40 million DPS in a singular barrage, basically. iShot is also gonna be likely as good. Still pretty good. Next up, the Bandits and the Gods. Bandits kill all. I think going for anything else is not worth it. Just they haven't changed these in like I'd say 20 patches. Like I've been playing since Essence, and I don't remember this ever being changed. Like the extra passive nodes are just too good. There's no reason to take anything else. Brine King, probably just go for Brine King. Get the stun and freeze avoidance basically. Can't be stunned if you've been stunned or blocked or stunning hit in the past 2 seconds. Pretty good. You don't think you need that. You just go for Solaris instead and get yourself some extra physical. Well, you know. Could also go for Arakali if you feel like you're getting hit, or probably just for the Hunter boss and nothing else. Other than that, I say Brine King or Solaris is better. I don't think you need the projectile avoidance or the elemental damage reduction on this one. I think you honestly you have enough for a ranger. I mean, for a ranger. Is this build SSF viable? Well, we're only using 2 uniques. You can actually target farm. I'd say yes. I mean, like this one just kill Infant Hunger, and this one you go and kill the Breach Lord Ash, and then just upgrade the item, and you got it. Like, I think this is pretty doable. The rest of the items are all like influence items you can easily craft yourself with Harvest and Expedition. I'd say yes. Is this build hardcore viable? I'm not a hardcore player, but I'd say maybe. I think hardcore is, especially hardcore on PathofExile, it's very dangerous and prone to getting one shot. So we do have like a some definite defense mechanisms, especially this one is very good. But I'd say that as a hardcore player, you're probably gonna go for Juggernaut, RF, you're probably gonna go for Bone Shadow Slayer, you're gonna go for some Trickster Trapper. If you're brave, I'd play this, and instead of going for more damage nodes, you move to the duelist side of the tree, get some more defenses, especially Iron and Reflexes, to convert all your evasion to fist damage reduction, and put Molten Shell on your build. Though gems are a bit tight, so you're gonna have to move around some stuff or find a way to get some extra. Probably remove this and replace it with Molten Shell plus some extra defenses. But I think if you play hardcore, I'd honestly, I'd probably play a different build unless you're very brave and a Giga Chat. Hey, Small Edit here. They released the gem info for the new gems. This is how Vaal Eyeshot looks. Important here, the damage effectiveness is only 87%, but we are shooting with 6 mirages, so the damage on that is overall higher. Then the mirages only fire when you use Eyeshot, so you can use Barrage and summon the extra damage. This makes it better likely to use a second Eyeshot gem and put Barrage support on it, than using Barrage itself. Most importantly, modifies the number of projectiles do not apply to the skill when used by Mirage Sharpshooter. Meaning, we won't get additional projectiles from Gluttonous Tide or any other source, but we do get Frenzy charges. This might make our generation with 6 minutes extremely fast, resulting in higher DPS. I'd say the damage is around triple of normal Eyeshot. Yeah, that's the build. I hope you enjoy it in the Crucible League. I'll be making some more videos later in the league. I have some more builds that I want to try out. I tend to make more of meta builds, maybe kind of like Mathil, maybe, good example. If you're interested, subscribe, leave a like. Yeah.